Your Appian applications have core branding options such as accent colors, logos, and button shapes. But when your organization needs a site or portal to match a specific brand identity at a more granular level, that's where CSS profiles come in. In this video, you'll see what CSS profiles are, how to configure them in the admin console, and what's possible through concrete examples. Check the description for links to resources such as Appian documentation and Appian Academy. And if you want to keep up with the latest from Appian, subscribe and turn on notifications. CSS profiles give you direct control over specific UI elements, font sizes, buttons, tooltip styles, status colors, and more. You define a set of property value pairs, and Appian applies them across every page of the site or portal using that profile. They work alongside the standard branding options in your site or portal. Start with those to set the baseline, then use CSS profiles to refine the details. To make this concrete, take a look at the same patient intake form on a site rendered across several different CSS profiles, including a dark theme. Same form, same components, completely different look and feel. That's the control CSS profiles give you. Here's how to create and apply a CSS profile in the admin console. In the admin console, add a new profile under the CSS Profiles tab. Give it a name. The Set as Default for Sites and Portals option controls whether this profile applies everywhere in the environment. In this example, the profile applies to one specific site, so I will adjust that setting accordingly. Assigning a typeface is optional, but can increase the UI possibilities. Only configure it if you want a different typeface than the environment default. If you do, upload the typeface in the Typefaces tab first. Now enter your properties. Each property goes on its own line in the format: property name, value. All property names are lowercase. No semicolons, no commas between properties. For a full list of available properties, check Appian documentation. When you're done, click OK, then save your changes. To apply the profile, assign it to a specific site or portal via its branding section. Open the site or portal object, go to the branding section, and select your profile from the CSS Profile dropdown. You can also set it as the environment default to apply it everywhere automatically. You can see your updates in the live site or portal after you save. To see just how unique your UIs can look with CSS profiles, take a look at the same patient intake form styled 3 different ways. Each one uses a different CSS profile, and the transformation is immediate. The dark theme uses the Plus Jakarta Sans font and a bold blue-purple color for a modern feel. The input fields have a subtle border with a transparent background. Several CSS profile properties create this effect. For the background, the fill is set to transparent so the dark page surface shows through the field itself. For the border, the color is a dark gray designed to blend into the dark surface. The width is 1.5 pixels, and the corners are slightly curved. And for spacing, the padding controls the space between the border and the text inside the field. Open the date picker and the calendar pop-up blends seamlessly into the dark surface. Open the gender drop-down and the option list appears in the same dark charcoal as the surface. The next button is semi-rounded with a custom border radius to match the brand's style, carrying the same bold blue-purple color. On the second step, the message banner displays in a distinct style against the dark background. Hover over a tooltip and the tooltip box has a dark background with near white text and a deeper shadow than the other themes. The checkboxes appear as a filled square with a contrasting white check mark inside. The radio buttons use a 2-tone style with an outer ring and a filled inner circle. 3 properties work together here: the outer ring color, the inner circle size set to 10 pixels, and the inner circle color, all coordinated to create one cohesive look. All of this is driven by a single CSS profile, one set of properties that brings the organization's brand identity directly into the application. The teal theme has a different look and feel. A few things stand out right away. The inputs shift to a different color for the border with a semi-rounded shape, a light background fill, and more padding than the dark theme. The buttons are slightly larger than the dark theme, with more padding, a wider minimum width, and slightly more rounded corners. Moving through the form, the message banner, checkboxes, and radio buttons all reflect the same teal theme styling. Hover over a tooltip, and the tooltip box appears with a light background and a subtle shadow, a clear contrast to the dark theme. The green theme takes a completely different direction. The inputs drop the full border box and use a straight single line underneath each field, with a soft cream background fill. Open the date picker and the calendar pop-up appears with a distinct background, unlike the dark theme where the pop-up blends in. Open the gender drop-down and the option list uses the same background. The checkboxes have more rounded corners with a cream-colored check mark inside. The radio buttons use a thick outer border with no inner circle, giving them a different style than the dark theme. Each element works together as a cohesive design. By adjusting properties with CSS profiles, like your typeface, input style, and status colors, you completely change the feel of the interface. To recap, CSS profiles give you granular control over the look of your Appian sites and portals. You've seen what's possible across different profiles and how to set one up in the admin console. One thing to keep in mind, CSS profiles do not apply to the Appian mobile app. Sites accessed through Appian Mobile always use the standard Appian profile. For the full list of available CSS profile properties and supported value formats, check Appian documentation. If you found this helpful, like this video and subscribe to keep up with the latest from Appian.